It's embarrassing, but I hid in this for a year before I had what I call a fuck it moment. Before I tell you that fuck it moment and how you can actually manufacture your own fuck it moment if you don't have one to start shedding fat, let's take it back to the beginning. This is me, July 24th, 2017. It was in Breckenridge, Colorado, and I was with my uncle and my best friend. I had just graduated high school, and we went on a trip to celebrate that graduation before going on to college. I should have been having a good time on this trip, but to be brutally honest with you, I was miserable. We went whitewater rafting, mountain biking, which was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. I ate it immediately within like 5 seconds. We went ATVing. I should have been having a really good time. But to be honest with you, I was in my head and I was completely miserable. I was just going through a breakup. And to be honest with you, I was having a ton of mental battles that I was already dealing with prior to even that breakup. And I was overweight. I was 240 pounds. I hated how I looked. I had a lot of struggles with just myself in my own body. I was always in my head trying to hide what I looked like. It was the heaviest I'd ever been in my life. And I was super insecure and I was dealing with a ton of negative thoughts. So we got back from the trip and I had to make a decision. I was stupid at this time in my life. I had decided that I was going to stay and go to a community college in my hometown to wait for this girlfriend that I had at the time to graduate because she was a year behind me. Well, we broke up, like I said. So now I had to make the decision. Was I going to stay in my hometown and continue going to that community college that I already committed to? Or was I going to go to my original college that I wanted to go to, which was the University of Iowa, because I'm from Iowa, which my dad wasn't in love with at the time because I grew up an Iowa State fan. But here's the problem. It was too late for me to get into the University of Iowa. So I had to now make a massive decision. Was I going to stay in that hometown? Or was I going to figure something else out? I didn't want to stay in the hometown and be miserable. So I figured something else out. I went and stayed at a community college called Kirkwood. I went to that college, and that was in the same town as the University of Iowa. So I was about 3.5 hours from home, and I had a few months before there was a transition period where I could transfer from Kirkwood to the University of Iowa in between semesters. And this is all around the time that I had my fuck it moment. I was staying at a buddy's place when I was at Kirkwood, and I go in the bathroom, I look in the mirror, and I started to see stretch marks. I saw stretch marks on my arm. I saw stretch marks on my stomach. I saw them on my thigh, saw them under my armpit. I'll try to pop up a few pictures here. At this moment, I said, fuck it. I am not gonna be overweight anymore. I am tired of feeling like shit. I'm tired of being in the body I'm in and struggling with my own mental struggles that I was having. So I sat down and I wrote out a ton of goals that I wanted for myself. Some of them within a short period of time, some of them long, big goals for the future. I took that piece of paper and I put it on my mirror. And I actually have that somewhere within my apartment. I might see if I can dig it out. But I put that on my mirror so I could see that every single day when I woke up. Months later, I went on to lose 70 pounds. I became the happiest I'd ever been and changed my life entirely. And I went on to pursue the rest of college. You might have a fuck it moment that changes your life entirely. A breakup or a divorce. Maybe you have a career shift. Maybe you have a health scare and you know you need to get your weight loss in check. But not everyone has this. Not everyone has a fuck it moment that makes them really just want to start. You may be contemplating weight loss. You may be wanting to lose weight. You may be having the itch to lose weight, but you don't have that moment that almost just forces you to start. But you're not screwed. Here's how to manufacture a fuck it moment to make yourself have no choice but to start. And that fuck it moment is going to have 3 parts to it. Part number 1, lower the barrier. I was lucky. I didn't have to lower the barrier. No matter how big that dang barrier was, I was going to leap over top of it because I had a moment where I had no choice in my head but to take the big, massive leap of changing my body entirely. But like I said, you may not have that massive moment in your life. And this is where a lot of people run into this big issue of they want to start and they actually get to the point where they're about to start. And then you start over planning. You start looking all over and coming up with a workout routine. You start looking up all this information on how you should be losing weight. You start looking at all these little diet plans to be following. And then you never actually start. You need to lower the barrier. Make yourself have no option but not to start. So for example, this could be something as simple as walking 2,000 steps every single night. It is such a low barrier that you don't even have an excuse not to do it. Or it could be as simple as making a high protein breakfast in the morning. Doesn't need to be a crazy perfect breakfast, just a high protein breakfast. Or it could be something as simple as working out 15 minutes at night. because it's so easy to do. It is such a low barrier. Or it can be something as simple as just having a little stretch routine, or even just the food that you ate. All you have to do is just write down the food that you ate and start logging it. You need to make this so easy that you literally have no choice but not to do it. If you don't know a good place to start, I have a whole free 7-day plan that you can access by clicking the link in the description, where I literally walk you through day by day on what to do to start losing fat. And I implement one little piece every single day to make it easy for you. Like I said, completely free. Click the link in the description. Now, lowering the barrier is only going to get you so far, but you still need to include part 2 of your fuck it moment, which is going to be make it real. Most people want to start weight loss. They have the thought that they want to, the itch that they want to, and then they say, I will deal with that later. I will do it later. No, this is what I want you to do. You are going to take out a piece of paper, a notebook, a notepad, a little sticky note, and you are going to write it down. You're going to write your goal down. Or you're going to take out your phone on your notes app and you're going to write it down. Or you are going to put a screensaver on your phone where you put your goal on there. Or you can call your mom and tell her about your goal, or someone that is really close to you in your life. You need to get this into the universe. Speak this into existence. Write this down. Make this something that you are constantly seeing on a daily basis. There is something special about putting this out in the universe. And there's so much research around this about when people actually speak and write their goals down and put them into existence, of the chances increase substantially that they actually achieve these results. Like I said, I took mine and I put it on a piece of paper and I put it on my mirror. So I saw this every single day. Most people can have part 1 and part 2 all set up for themselves, but they never say fuck it and actually start. And this is where part 3 comes into play and why it is so crucial. If I were to tell you right now, I want you to start learning salsa dancing. The reason I bring this up is because I am currently learning salsa dancing. I have taken 2 classes now. The reason we are learning is I always thought it was a fun thing to do, and we have our wedding coming up, so I thought it'd be a fun thing to start doing that we could do at our wedding. So if you had no choice, what would you start doing? You'd probably start looking up classes. You would start seeing if there's anything in your area. You would start maybe trying to figure out what's the best place to go to. Then you would start planning and be like, oh, okay, next month is probably a good time to start. You leave so many chances within there where you can say no, or where you can back out of it. So this is what I want you to do, and why part 3 is so crucial. You need to start when it's inconvenient. If it's salsa dancing, you would start looking up some videos online and start learning the basic steps. If it's weight loss, this is what I want you to do. Instead of sitting there saying, oh, I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps starting tomorrow. No, you walk 2,000 steps starting tonight. If it's too late out, get 2,000 steps around your apartment or your place. Instead of saying, oh, I will start tracking on the 1st of the month, start, no, I'm gonna track my dinner tonight. Instead of saying, I'm gonna start a workout routine on Monday, start being like, no, I'm gonna get a 15-minute workout tonight. Start when it's inconvenient. Start when most people won't, to get the results that most people won't get. And once again, look, I take the guesswork out of it for you. Download that free 7-day plan. It's gonna walk you through each day to start losing weight. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to figure out what exactly to do. You just start immediately. Fuck it moments are crucial, but the reality is you are going to fuck up along the way. So you need to understand this one rule that will reverse bad weekends. So to learn that, I recommend you watch this next video here.